I'm Avery Davidson. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture. Kristen Oaks White will join us later in the show. A new invasive species has rice farmers on alert. The rice delphicid is a Central and South American pest first discovered in Texas in 2015. Now, a decade later, it's made its way to Louisiana. TWILA's Karl Wiggers takes us to Evangeline Parish to see how the LSU Ag Center is working directly with farmers to find a solution to this tiny pest with a big threat.
This ratoon crop is starting to enter the most important stage of creating the grain that will someday end on your table. That's why researchers like Tyler Musgrove, the incoming rice specialist at the LSU Ag Center, and James Villegas, extension entomologist for the LSU Ag Center, are in this field. They're working hard to figure out how to treat this new pest in Louisiana rice fields.
So today we're looking at really how to efficiently control rice delphicids using several chemical products.
This is a plant hopper, invasive to the U.S. It's been dealt with over the past decade in Texas rice. Over the past 3 or so years, it's really upped in number. And in this year, it was the first time we found it in Louisiana in over 70 years.
An added concern for Louisiana rice acres, especially in the South, is its crop rotation with crawfish. That is another variable these researchers have to consider. Vince Desitel is the Central Region Ag and Natural Resources Coordinator and has deep roots right here in Evangeline Parish where this research is happening. He says it's imperative that farmers have tools to stop this pest and protect a crop vital to this parish economy and culture.
Because this is a potentially devastating pest in the rice industry, and we certainly want to, if the Ag Center can put some holes on it, we want to knock a hole in it and try to get it stopped.
Having this farm near Vadrine to conduct this research is taking away the normal first step of starting on a research station, which Villegas says is way better.
We do a lot of on-station research, but having able to get that opportunity to do it out in the fields, in the real field scenario, our producer's field is really a good opportunity, because that's where the real scenario in terms of pest management is happening.
These are the people that we serve as a land-grant institution. Whenever these problems come up, it's important for us to be able to respond in real time. And so this is what the university land-grant mission is all about.
It's important that we get the Ag Center, not only the extension component of it, but the research out on the farm, so we have real-world work going on that we can hopefully prove that there's some kind of control mechanism for this particular pest moving forward.
The discovery of this new pest has brought a lot of questions from producers that Musgrove and this team of researchers are exploring.
What our colleagues in Texas have stated previously is they predict that anywhere from 20-30% of the rice crop in ratoon right now is liable to be lost due to this one pest. With it comes a lot of basic questions: what insecticides are effective, when do we apply them, and how are some of the ways that we can control them. Specifically in our system in Louisiana, we have crawfish in our system, especially in South Louisiana, so there's a lot of moving variables that can affect how successful we are in managing rice delphicid.
Reporting in Evangeline Parish, I'm Karl Wiggers for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture.
LSU Ag Center researchers are planning to host an invasive species workshop in December and hope to have more from this research to share with growers to help them protect their fields. Governor Jeff Landry and Congressman Clay Higgins are asking the federal government for a USDA regional hub in New Orleans. This comes as the Department of Ag plans to decentralize, reducing its workforce in Washington, D.C., and spreading out to 5 regional hubs. The 5 locations announced are Raleigh, Kansas City, Indianapolis, Fort Collins, and Salt Lake City. Higgins and Landry sent a letter to President Donald Trump citing the Mississippi River as a key avenue for commerce, including agriculture. It's not clear yet if the USDA plans to reconsider any of its hub locations. October is officially Farm to School month, and Louisiana is celebrating in a big way. Recent cuts to USDA programs, however, are threatening these programs statewide. TWILA's Neil Melancon shows us one program in central Louisiana that's trying to keep children connected to where their food comes from.
Here at Cottonport Elementary, if the kids have a favorite subject, it's lunchtime. The students are only too happy to line up for it, and meatballs are on the menu today. Today's lunch is special as they get to learn that the beef came from right here in Louisiana.
Nutrition-wise, we know that the product is coming from our state. It's not coming from somewhere that we don't know. It's a lot more nutritious. As a registered dietitian, I know that there's nothing more important than feeding our kids products that are local and that are not processed. So it's a way to highlight that. Also, it just tastes a lot better.
Welsh says last year they got assistance from the USDA through local supply chain funds, but that ended in 2025. She still sought out local suppliers like Coastal Meat Company because of how important local suppliers are, which is why she'd like to see the federal funding restored.
It was a great initiative because last year, that was the first time that as a supervisor of food service that I was able to even consider buying local beef. Before, because of the volume, it wasn't something that we could even think about doing. But because the product was so great and we had such a good response from our faculty and our parents, we were able to incorporate it into our food bid. But I think in order for it to grow across the state, those funds need to continue.
Chip Perrin is both a cattleman and co-owner of Coastal Plains. He says the move to incorporate local beef into school foods enabled him to not only feed kids, but hire people in his rural area.
Programs like this help keep all of us in business. And as when somebody gets out, it's so hard to get back in. You know, as these bigger cities are growing into the rural areas and land is being bought up at high prices, that's never going to be converted back to cattle.
And having cattle is what keeps these kids fed, which they clearly enjoy. Perrin says directly feeding people from Louisiana farms should be a point of pride for everyone, city and rural alike.
I mean, it's definitely pride, and you love to see, you know, kids eating your beef and enjoying it. One thing that I've noticed in the last few years that we've been in business is that we have seen the quality of cattle and the quality of beef go up in Louisiana because of programs like this, because of processors like us who are providing the availability for these cattlemen to process their beef locally.
Now, while the Farm to School program will continue here at Cottonport Elementary, without USDA funding, it's unlikely to expand or even continue in schools across the state and country. Local producers feeding local kids are a vital part of the food supply chain. Reporting from Cottonport, I'm Neil Melancon.
The statewide Farm to School Conference was held this past week in Baton Rouge. For more on the conference, as well as resources to help you connect your school to agriculture, log on to our website at twilatv.org. Mississippi River levels are once again forecast to be drastically low, meaning grain barges will have to be lightened. That's rough news considering we're right in the middle of harvest season. As barge rates get higher, those higher costs are making their way to the farm. AgriPulse reports that between low commodity prices and higher shipping costs, corn and soybean farmers are looking to stash their grains anywhere they can. The lower river levels get, the bigger the impact on profits. Good weather at the beginning of the season helped create strong yields for sweet potatoes, and now dry weather in the fall is expediting this year's harvest. LSU Ag Center reporter Craig Gautreaux takes us to Northeast Louisiana.
Louisiana sweet potato producers are taking advantage of a dry spell to get this year's crop out of the ground and into the storage sheds. Some producers got an early start and have finished, while others are just getting started and are moving quickly.
The next few weeks there's going to be the majority of the crop will be dug, and probably by the end of the month, the end of October, you will see the crop wrapping up here in Louisiana for this season.
Gregory said yields are some of the strongest he's ever seen because the weather at the start of the season was ideal for growing potatoes.
Sweet potato can be a very drought-tolerant crop, but the first 3 to 4 weeks is the critical portion of the crop for making your yields. And so this year we had really conducive early season rains that continued on into the mid-season.
While the dry weather is good for speeding up the harvest, it can be tough on the potato. Extreme dry weather can cause skinning, which consumers in the fresh market frown upon. Growers are adjusting their harvest schedules to avoid this.
They've devined a week ago. They're having to prolong how long the potatoes sit in the ground, trying to toughen up the skin so that when they do harvest, the potato comes up as nice, tight skin.
Nematodes are a major pest of sweet potatoes, and LSU Ag Center scientists are developing strategies that can increase yield and reduce nematodes.
We looked at 2 different soil fumigants as well as a couple different non-fumigant nematicides, and whatever pesticide we put out there, we were getting about a 40% yield increase, and we're also knocking down our reniform nematode reproduction by about 80%.
Gregory said demand for sweet potatoes, especially in the processing sector, is strong, which will help keep prices stable for growers. With the LSU Ag Center, this is Craig Gocher reporting.
Louisiana's sweet potato crop is about 5,700 acres, with half going to market and the rest headed to processing. Still to come on TWILA. It may not feel like it, but we're in pumpkin season. After the break, Kristen Oaks White takes us to a pumpkin patch that's near and dear to her heart.
You're watching This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, the only TV show bringing Louisiana farmers and consumers together every week.
Welcome to Feasting on Agriculture. I'm Kristen Oaks White, and it's fall in Louisiana, and nothing says the season like pumpkins. But behind every pumpkin is the farmer's story, planting, nurturing, and harvesting. And you're in luck today because I am the farmer, and this is my pumpkin patch, and we're going to show you how these beautiful pumpkins start from the field and end on your table or front porch.
Feasting on Agriculture is brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board, Louisiana Crawfish, ask before you eat, and by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council, beef, it's what's for dinner, and by the Louisiana Rice Promotion Board, think rice.
This is what, our 5th year since we moved out here?
I think so.
What made you decide to do pumpkins?
We bought this place in 2019, and it had a small riding arena, and I said, man, that would be nice to get back into, I used to team rope a lot, so I said we can start team roping. All the team roping, everything got so expensive. I fooled with the horses a little bit, but it started growing up with weeds, and I had to plow it and just keep it maintained. And I said, man, we're not riding horses, we're not doing much. And I just got to thinking about growing something, and pumpkins just kind of turned out to be something everybody likes to have and something we like to fool with. It turned into just a few, and then now we got about a half acre of them.
That's the thing about these pumpkins that I figured out, that they're like people. There's no two that are the same. I feel like even the bad ones that aren't great, somebody likes them.
You're growing them during the heat of the year, and this is a pretty sandy patch, so things get hot, you got to irrigate a lot, and you start getting right after Labor Day, and people want them. Everybody wants them early. Nobody waits till Halloween to get pumpkins, and most of the ones we grow now are more
novelty.
Yeah, novelty, decorative pumpkins, and a lot of people just don't want jack-o'-lanterns.
Little known fact, this is how you tell it's ready. See, the stem is starting to crackle a little bit. He's been hiding in here. It's like an Easter egg hunt, because you never know what you're going to find. The other thing that you have to consider when you're picking them, this is a great shape one, and it's super heavy. Another thing that you have to consider is that if it's a beautiful pumpkin and you want it to be a better color, if you leave it out here, like he said, we could have bugs, we could have a raccoon that decides to make a midnight snack off of it, but these are 2 good ones, so I'm picking them.
Weed control is very difficult in pumpkins. Used to, when this was a little bit smaller, I would lay fabric down. You got to get on it early, and you need to use a pretty good pre-emerge control program, and you just don't have many options left in pumpkins after they get up and growing. Once they get up and get a canopy and get going and get vine, it's good, and then as they start maturing and that canopy gets thinner and they start laying down, here comes another flush of weeds, here comes another flush. So it's just, you get to a point where you just kind of gotta say, okay, you can have it.
Today is very nice, but normally it's extremely hot out here, and it is so exhausting doing this, but I don't know why, that this is the most enjoyable thing I've done in a long time. Maybe I was meant for a career in manual labor, because it's rewarding, because we spent all year growing them. Yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh, ooh. Oh, he is ready though, he's good. Oh, this is a good one. I could do this all day.
This is number about 400 for me. Kristen's picked about 7 or 8.
That isn't.
Run along. You like that?
It's not true. Everybody loves these. These are the crowd favorite because most of the time you can't get these in Walmart. So here, I could write a book. Oh man, I was just about to say that this is the greatest challenge sometimes of picking them is because you can break the stem off. Ah, Long Island cheese.
Long Island cheese. Is this what you're going to cook today?
Yes, because did you know that the Long Island cheese are excellent for baking?
I did not.
Because they have a sweet, dense flesh and it's not stringy like you're carving pumpkins. So this would make a perfect ingredient for what we're gonna do. So, are you gonna come cook with me?
I'm probably gonna stay out here and keep working, but
No, you're gonna come cook.
Okay.
Let's go. We're back in the kitchen and we literally went from the field to the plate because we're gonna cook this delicious Long Island cheese pumpkin that you picked.
that I picked.
One of the 5 that you picked all year that will be perfect for our dish. We're gonna make a pumpkin cream cheese muffin. These are perfect because they, like I said, they have a sweet flavor once you cook it. So the first thing we're gonna do is we need a 1/2 cup of white sugar, which
That's
is
Louisiana sugar?
of course, Louisiana cane sugar, and then a 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar.
Okay.
Which is my favorite. I can eat it just raw. So we've got 1/2 cup of melted butter.
Louisiana butter?
I mean, straight from those cows out there.
Okay.
That brown sugar was a little caked up.
Must have been from Mississippi. I'd say that's pretty good.
All right.
All right.
Next thing we do, we need 2 room temperature eggs.
Room
So
temperature Louisiana eggs.
you think you're the best cracker, so let's
Yes,
see.
one-handed trick. No shells.
Look at you.
Look at that.
All right, so we're adding the 2 eggs.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch. I've completely forgot what we put in there. What you got here?
We're gonna do a tablespoon of vanilla extract.
Is that metric or imperial?
It's shut up.
Okay. This is why I don't bake. This is a lot of work.
Smell it, smell.
Notes of vanilla extract.
Yeah. Okay, now our star ingredient.
A sweet potato?
No,
What is that?
this is our pureed pumpkin.
Okay.
Hey, you do it.
Okay, here we go.
You
Just
haven't,
like
you haven't done
always.
much. You're just the.
Here we go.
You've just been sitting over here babysitting your pumpkin. While we're mixing this,
While we're mixing,
we've got our oven preheated to 375.
375.
375. Now we're for our dry ingredients.
Okay.
So the first thing we need to do is we've got 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder,
Okay.
1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. Then we've got 1 tablespoon of
Pumpkin spice.
pumpkin spice.
Was that right?
Incorporate it all together.
All right.
My mom always had like a sifter that she would put it all in and sift it. It's really
Okay, we should have brought her in for this. Coming in.
just not all at once. Just do a little bit, and then we're gonna gradually start incorporating it. Okay?
What are we making again?
Muffins.
Muffins.
Pumpkin muffins.
If the good Lord wanted a pumpkin to be in a muffin, he would have put a wrapper around it or something.
Last step before baking, this is the cream cheese icing that we're going to make from scratch. We've got 1 package of cream cheese, which is 8 ounces.
Okay.
We've got 1/4 cup of powdered sugar, which is, yes, it is Domino Louisiana sugar. We've got 1 egg yolk.
Okay.
Just the yolk.
Can I get to work? Can I do something?
Yes, go.
Oh, this is way better.
Yeah,
Nothing to this bacon.
yes. Now we're adding 2
More?
teaspoons of vanilla flavoring.
Welcome back this week in Louisiana agriculture. I've just finished up making some homemade icing from a recipe that I've had in my family for years. And Kristen, I could get you to help me pour these into these wrappers so we could top off our muffins.
We're gonna drop about 1 big spoonful of batter in each one, and there might be a better way to do this, but this is an old Becky Oaks cooking trick.
Okay.
Ta-da!
So we're going in the oven?
Yes. There you go.
How long?
18 to 20 minutes. Ta-da! And by the magic of television, they're already ready.
It turned out pretty good.
Turned out pretty good, so you're gonna have to taste it.
I'm a pretty good cook.
So in addition to
the pumpkin muffins. I also found a recipe because you know I'm crazy about, you're not even listening. I'm crazy about ice cream recipes with our creamy. I found a pumpkin ice cream recipe. So, don't like it? It's actually pumpkin cheesecake.
Let's see how you did.
You don't like this? I think this is good.
That's pretty good. A lot of pumpkin. A lot of pumpkin.
Well, it's the star of the show.
Is that medium rare?
What do you think? You know, you're supposed to lie a little bit even if you don't like it.
That's all right.
Too much sugar?
You try it.
It's very dense and it's very pumpkiny. It's good.
Well,
I
that'll
think
do
it's
it
good.
for us this week. Don't forget, you can catch all these recipes on our website. We'll put that link at the bottom. We'll see you again next week on This Week.
What's the link? TWILATV.org.
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 And we will catch you next week where we do another feasting from somewhere in your state.
Leave it to the professionals. Until next time, we'll see you feasting on
agriculture.
Feasting on Agriculture was brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board, Louisiana Crawfish, ask before you eat, and by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council, beef, it's what's for dinner, and by the Louisiana Rice Promotion Board, think rice.
Time now for this week's TWILA Boost. Horses and cats don't usually go together, but on one Utah ranch, an unlikely bond has formed.
I saw the horses looking out into the field, and I saw this little kitten. Hi! He was just starving. Are you hungry? In the pasture was Stargazer, and he had, of course, heard these cries, but then his ears and his face were like, what is this? I know, what is it? And I thought, I'll go get some food, and I lured him out. He kind of came running out pretty easily, and, you know, of course I couldn't touch him or anything like that. He started following me closer to the barn. All three horses were like sniffing him through the fence as to almost say like, hey, this is a good place, you know, welcome to the herd. He warmed up to them much quicker than he warmed up to us. I was a little nervous he would get stepped on or something, but he, you know, navigated around them and he wasn't afraid of them. He spent the night with the horses, actually. Next morning when I woke up, I was really, really hoping, you know, he would still be there. There he is. It was that next day he got more and more comfortable.
I'll figure something out for you, little buddy.
And he would just start following us along with the barn work, and he's hanging out. It's just really fun to see how the horses interacted with him and how he interacted back with them too. He was like, yeah, these are my friends and this is my family and I belong here. So I knew he wasn't ever leaving. He was going to stay here. So Turn Up became part of the family because he just turned up. Turn Up just waltzed into the house and kind of took over and is best friends with the cats and just hangs out and loves everyone that comes to visit. Just acted like he's been here from day one. Of course, he has to go visit Stargazer and Nora because they were so important, part of his rescue journey. I'm so grateful that he chose us and that this is how it ended up because he's just perfect and I couldn't imagine anything different now.
A happy ending for them and for us too, because that does it for this edition of TWILA. Be sure to join us next week when we'll check in on this year's sugarcane harvest. Until then, you can watch all of our stories online at twilatv.org. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. You can find all of these stories and more on our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications. That way you know when we put something new out there. For all of us here at TWILA, thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again right here next week.